about suicide. Did you know that in 2013, 41,149 Americans committed suicide? That means that for every 12.8 minutes, one person commits suicide. 16% of Gulfport High School students went to the counselor and told the counselors that they wanted to commit suicide. So out of 1,600 kids, around 263 have actually spoken up without realizing that other half of the school has gone through really tough situations. The most ways that suicide were attempted / carried out through was number 1, which was top ranked, was firearms. Number 2 is suffocating and hanging. And number 3 is poisoning. 56% of males use firearms as to where only 30% of women did. 37% of women use poisoning as to where 12% of men did. Sadly, both 25% of males and females commit suicide by hanging and suffocation. So top 1, top 2, and number 3. This image right here, most people aren't in the mindset. They always think that suicide is selfish, but when you have to carry that mental burden, you don't realize what it's doing to you. In the study of 2005, the age group of 15 to 24-year-olds, the males had the high ranking of 3,489 who wanted to commit suicide, where only 713 of the females did. Why is that? Because most of the males think that if they speak up and say what their feelings are, it's as if it's a sign of weakness, where females want to reach out and get help and talk about it. Sadly, some of these females succeeded, like Amanda Todd on September 7th, 2012, and Lara Wang in 2014. You may not fully know, but the last thing you say to someone could be the only thing that they actually need. Not only do normal people commit suicide, but famous celebrities do as well, such as Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain, Lara Wayne, Jordan Belcher, Amanda Todd, and Jordan Bennett. For example, we all question why celebrities would do that when they have all of them. They have money, they have fame, they have the greatest life ever. But sadly, Mr. Robin Williams here, he committed suicide on August 11th, 2014 by hanging himself. He slipped into a very deep depression that he couldn't get out of. Every time he got interviewed, people would say, what's going on, and he said he was losing his mind. No one looks on the inside, but simply the outside. Throughout this week, I've collected testimonies that I would like to share to y'all. Number 1, Ms. Campbell, who is our librarian, has stated that it's a selfish act because I've asked everyone, what do you think of suicide and what should we say to people? And she said it's selfish, but people who think that they're doing it doesn't think it's a selfish act. Number 2, TJ was greatly honored, and I'm greatly honored to share TJ's testimony, and he said suicide is a deep-root problem in teens and adults. Causes are inner thoughts, bullying, family issues, and they think that it's a gateway to get out of pain. Number 3, Carmela Henson, who missed my mother. I think it's very selfish, and I think we have a valuable life, and the only person who should take it is God. And I've had the greatest honor of talking with my friend Jen. She lives in Florida, and she shared her story and her testimony with me. And she's a person who tried to commit suicide twice, but failed. She's had her stomach pumped, her heart shocked, and everything. And now she is happy and healthy and feels loved. And her testimony was, people don't see the terrible side of it. They see selfishness, but not those who have issues. So sadly, no, not today. Not going. Not want to do it. What's going on? Close the board. Oh, hello. No, still no. happened?
Very slow.
I'm not doing slow.
Just sit up there.
First slide, click it 3 more times. Okay, exactly 2 months ago today, my life got flipped upside down when I found out my father committed suicide. Hold up. Although my father and I were not close, I've been forming a lot of problems, as in not being able to sleep fully at night, and not wanting to eat because I know my father can't eat. I can't step foot into a Chili's without remembering my last dinner I had with my father, and it was after one of my shows. And I was so mad because he actually came back into my life. My father's name is Jason Coleman, and he died at the age of 42. The cause of my father's death was a self-inflicted gunshot to the head, with the contributing factors of alcohol mixed with antidepressants and losing everything he had. I never realized I could feel so much pain for someone who was never there. The worst thing about it is my family and I are trying to solve a mystery that gets deeper and deeper as you go. There are so many questions I want answered so I can have peace, but I'll never get them, and that's really, really hard. I'll never get to see the proudness in my father's face when I do something great like a play, graduate high school, go to college, get married, and have a baby, or even change the world. My father's favorite saying was "make it happen, Captain." I personally believe he's sitting in that desk grinning because I'm bringing awareness to something that gets thrown under the rug so much. Okay. No one deserves this. You're worth the beautiful life God blessed you with. You are worth it. Do you want to click the thing? Okay. My challenge to everyone is to reach out to someone new and compliment them on anything. Their hair, their eyes, their outfit, anything. If you ever feel this way about wanting to end your life, don't, because your story's not over yet. Our counseling is very, very great if you want to go and reach out to them, but if you feel like it should be more private, you can call the suicide hotline, which is next slide. And the number is right there. So go ahead, call them. They will not tell you who they are, but they will get you through it. There are some very, very sad stories that I've read about it, but they're there to help you. The yellow ribbon is the ribbon for suicide, and the National Suicide Prevention Day is September 7th or 9th. But I personally believe that if you reach out to one person every day, we can start to try to end suicide now. That's it.